Where was I? Way over yonder. There's a place that I know where I can find shelter from hunger and cold. And the sweet tasting good life is so easily found. Way over yonder, that's where I'm bound. Trouble's gonna lose me, worry leave me behind. I'll stand up proudly in true peace of mind. Maybe tomorrow I'll find my way to the land where the honey runs, and rivers each day, and the sweet tasting good life is so easily found. Way over yonder, that's where I'm bound. Whoa, I said way over yonder, that's where I'm bound. Y'all don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, and I don't know what it is. I just came outside to sit on the trampoline and smoke a cigarette, to be perfectly direct with you, TikTok. However, I get out here and I'm looking at the sky, and I'm looking at the sky, and I'm talking to the universe, and I saw a shooting star. And you can't not feel the electricity. Step outside, TikTok. You can't not feel the electricity. It's more outside right now at night. I don't drink. It makes me way too friendly. I don't do that. So anywho, moving forward. What if the night sky was missing the moon, and there were no shooting stars to use wishing on you? And all of my sorrows, I just washed them down. Well, it's the only peace I've ever found. All of this drinking and smoking is hopeless, but I feel like it's all that I need. Something inside of me's broken. I hold on to anything that sets me free. I'm so grateful Jelly Roll got some kind, sort of form of counseling, that he's writing songs more like, I mean, he's working through his feelings with Liar, You ain't nothing but a liar. Yeah. Yeah, I walked right out the fire. Yeah, you try to hold me down, try to put me underground, but I'm only going higher. I can hear you in my head, in my bed when I'm dreaming. You try to be my friend, but you're blowing smoke. Well, now I ain't scared of telling you where you can go, 'cause I know you're nothing but a liar. Okay, that was ugly of Jelly Roll to sing. Jelly Roll, I'm gonna have to step down from being a little chunky because, that was ugly. We need to work on grace, darling. And no, I'm playing. I'm joking, Jelly Roll. You're doing well. I'm proud of you. Either way, you too, Eminem. Either way, they got Jesus. Jesus stood for them like he stood for me, because the way to God is Jesus. People think I don't praise Jesus enough, and I don't. I'm sorry, Jesus. I don't. Jesus, look. He stood for me because God had no time for my heathen self. Plenty of times he was like, sit your fast butt down. And I was like, don't tell me what to do. And anybody that knows me knows that's exactly what I was like, Excuse me, you said what now? You're going to tell me to do what now? Well, he didn't have no time for me. Who can blame him? Either way, Jesus stood for me a lot. So if there are people, some people that I met, some of them, not in a mean, ugly way, just I agree to disagree. Either way, I haven't forgotten Jesus. Jesus stood for me and talked for me when God didn't want to even. God doesn't understand the sins of the flesh. Get this, God is not of the flesh. We all know that, right? We all already know that. God is not of the flesh. Therefore, he's like, I'll give you all this free will that the devil talks highly of. Because I'm a compromising God, if anything. So he gives us all free will, and he's like, look, now I don't understand. You shouldn't be doing these things of the flesh. And these some stuff aren't so bad, so you can do those, and here's the rules. Well, then we start going by, and me included, what rules? We can do whatever we want. You gave it to us, and some free will. And we just totally took advantage of it. And that leads us to, it is what it is. It leads us to it is what it is. God's not of the flesh. That's where we were. So he doesn't understand the sins of the flesh. He just doesn't. Therefore, Jesus came into play. See what I mean? Because Jesus ain't the devil. The devil just is all about himself, and he lies. The devil is a liar, baby. So either way, Jesus comes into play in this way. Because God's like, bro, me and you are not friends, Satan. You know what I mean? I don't get down like that. So, maybe, he had to come up. Maybe. I don't know this part to be true. You know what I'm saying? I'm just power of deduction at this point. I'll pick up what I know to be true in a minute. I'm thinking to myself. I'm pondering, if you will. He says, well, I'm going to need some form of a being that I care about. And it's got to be of the flesh. So he gave us Jesus, right? That's, again, power of deduction. No Bible, no nothing, just power of deduction. Well, some Bible. Anyway, it's how my brain is working. Just bear with me. So either who, that begot us Jesus. There's Jesus. So yes, I do believe in Jesus. Yes, I do believe Jesus is the way to salvation. Yes, I do believe in religion. I don't believe in the rigidity of the religions, that we can't tolerate other religions and their beliefs and all be one as a human race before we break off into several different religions. I just thoughts. Or maybe I actually spoke with God. Whichever. Again, I don't know, regurgitating at the mouth. Either way, not in an ugly way though, not in an ugly way. Just, I'm finding it, where's your grace, Dassy? I'm finding it. I'm still reaching Gladys, I just decided to be Gladys. I made the change. that I actually made the change. I want to be Gladys. It's a process. Progress takes time. I'm getting there. I'm reaching. I'm finding it. Either way, the electricity's gone, so I'm going to sit down and look at the stars some more. Anyway, thanks for listening, TikTok. Y'all have a good night.